Greetings, Sea Captains! Welcome back to Classic Crafts, the educational video series where we break down the finest ships in Sea of Craft and rebuild them to learn how they were put together in the first place. In today's episode, we're downsizing a bit from our usual meal of big, heavy ships to look into something a little smaller and quicker on its feet. The Sea Scorpion, built by Mansfield, stands out from the crowd in the Ship Expo for its combination of great speed and incredible handling. This compact vessel has all the hallmarks of a ruthless master builder, prioritizing performance and eschewing a heavy, cumbersome deck. But the Sea Scorpion is not simply a work of function over form. Its impressive movement is topped off with a selection of elegant ornaments and weaponry that augment its dangerous, nimble appearance. On the surface, it looks like there's not much to say about the hull. Excluding the helm, there are only 20 deck parts on the Sea Scorpion, and to the untrained eye there appears to be no underlying logic to its construction. There is, however, an important shipbuilding principle at work here that needs to be addressed. This hull is designed to provide a very high ratio of surface area to volume. Each deck part in the ship provides multiple surfaces at varied angles, to which movement parts in great numbers will later be added. For a pure speedboat, the hull serves only to support the parts that help the ship to move. Any additional volume slows the ship down and detracts from its performance. Forward movement is of paramount importance. The first step you need to take after getting the basic model for your hull is to establish just how much forward movement your ship is capable of. The basic idea behind this is to do a balancing act between the power your propellers provide and the slowing effects of your hull. When it comes down to it, you're going to have to spend a lot of time testing this relationship, building and rebuilding your hull to get it just right. Once you've established the benchmark for your forward movement, you can start worrying about turning and handling. Just remember to leave some room on the hull for these considerations. A big part of what makes the Sea Scorpion so great is its handling, and the most important factor in this is its turning configuration. The Sea Scorpion turns around its centre and doesn't get much faster or slower while turning, which makes for much easier handling. The turning configuration is based around the manual rotator located on the ship's underside. This wheel rotates the hull just behind the ship's centre of gravity and acts as a kind of turning linchpin around which all the other turning components are positioned. First up are the laterally aligned propellers on the bow and stern. These are built onto the front and back so that the turning arc goes through the centre of the ship, near the wheel, thereby reducing drift. Next up are the T-shaped pivot configurations, again on the bow and stern for the same reason. These components have the added benefit of increasing forward movement. There are many rudders on the Sea Scorpion. Those mounted to the top and underside of the bow and stern, and those directly built to the helm, are configured to help with turning. The overall effect of these rudders is centred on the wheel, just like the other turning components. Last are these forward and backward aligned propellers, some of whose key bindings have been partially repurposed to help with turning. These propellers help speed the ship up when going forward and help slow it down a bit when turning. The other factor that makes the Sea Scorpion's handling so great is its stability. The ship remains constantly level near the water's surface and very seldom pitches in any direction. The main parts used to achieve this are rudders, and lots of them, 26 to be exact. The main effect of these rudders, besides helping the ship turn, is that they reduce pitching from side to side. This is a hidden secondary characteristic of rudders that is of great value when building a speedboat, which can be hard to control. The second part, employed to reduce forward and backward pitching, is our good friend the propeller. Mounted at the top and bottom of the ship, these propellers balance out any forward and backward pitching and force the ship to remain positioned in the sweet spot of water depth, where forward thrust is greatest and drag is lowest. Note that these propellers have reduced force. Getting the best performance from your speedboat can only be achieved by trial and error, and making lots of little adjustments like this. One little feature of the Sea Scorpion that's easy to overlook is its manual pitching function. Holding Q or E causes the ship to roll in its side when stationary. This is achieved using propellers on the underside of the ship, configured with custom key bindings. The Sea Scorpion already looks pretty cool, and now it's about to look even cooler. Some of the remaining hull space will be given over to fins, as befits a racing ship. What's more, these spears will give the Sea Scorpion surprisingly good melee damage and help protect it from would-be melee attackers and obstacles. And that's it! After a great deal of testing and tweaking, you'll have a top-tier speedboat on your hands. If you had any trouble with single-player Chapter 8 before, your worries can now be a thing of the past. All in all, the Sea Scorpion has possibly the best movement attributes of any ship in the Ship Expo. This doesn't mean that it's perfect and cannot be improved upon, however. Head on over to the shipyard and see if you can build a speedboat that leaves the Sea Scorpion in the dust. Thanks very much everyone, see you next time.